What's going on, everybody? This is Nick Lawson from Squad Sports. We're really excited to be supporting the Free Agent Friday series. A lot of great talent out there. Without further ado, this is the next free agent you should be signing with your sports team.
All right, we're back for another Free Agent Friday, and today I've got Jamie Meyer with me. How's it going, Jamie?
Great, Andrew. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to join me. Let's kick it off with your school background. Where'd you go to college and any degrees that you received?
Absolutely. I went to the University of Nebraska, Omaha, graduated with a degree in journalism and public relations communications. That was where my start and my love for sports actually started when I was very young, but that was where I got my first taste of working in sports and entertainment, and following my alma mater and seeing the growth of one of the programs that I was lucky enough to be involved in is something that I take a lot of pride in. So went to school right in my hometown and got to be part of a great experience in the sports industry at the same time.
Did you do any internships or anything while you were in school?
I actually was a sports information assistant, so paid internship, paid job, which was great. And that was where that first sports experience came in for me. It's a D2 school. However, I was lucky enough to be hockey is my passion. I love all sports, but I'm a uber hockey fan. So I was able to work in the sports information department when we were putting on Division I hockey in a D2 school. So that first year that we were preparing prior to working in the sports information office, obviously I was more involved in the program and the press releases and media and interviews and things like that. And then other folks were involved in the, NCAA rules and things of that nature. But we got to be a part of creating that program. And then I was also working there the first year of that program and being on site in the press box for the games. I was actually doing the shot chart, which was very nerve-wracking, especially the first game. It was a really unique experience when they said, okay, you guys can cheer the first goal. That's it. The NCAA is there watching you. And we're so excited that this has come to fruition for this school. And so many people were behind this Division I program. Hockey is, not everybody thinks it, but hockey is a huge thing in Omaha. And so we were all so excited, and to see my boss who had been there for years and to just see all the people that had worked so hard literally just jump up and down, and they're in tears because we did it. We got them on the ice, and look at all these people here, and to know that it's 20 years later and they're still on the ice and there's guys going pro, and it's just great to watch it and know that that's here in my hometown and I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, that is cool. From the beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
So kind of walk me through your job experience over the years.
Sure. So I would say, I would start with that athletic department experience. Then I went into the music industry from there. We have a company here in Omaha, 66-year-old company that was started here, Romeo Entertainment Group. We also, this is the job that I just got laid off from, unfortunately, have an office in Nashville as well. And really our founder was credited with creating the industry of having entertainment at fairs and festivals. So he literally got in his car, drove around and said, hey, instead of just the pig races and the rodeos and the tractor pulls, you guys need to have entertainment here and bring national acts to your fairs. And so got to do that for a couple of years. And, when you're in your 20s, I knew that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in sports and entertainment. but I also, kind of needed to make a living wage and got my degree, and people doubled my salary. So I call it my very long sabbatical in the entertainment industry, and went to work for a company here in Omaha that just had an incredible reputation. It was called Home Instead Senior Care. It's the largest independent non-medical senior care company in the world. And I did marketing there, as well as worked in the franchise development department. So anything from working with the franchisees that were coming in and presenting to them that they were a franchise company that didn't just give, a franchise to anybody who could write a check. They had very high standards. So I got to go in and help with the marketing process, help with the PR process. We put a PR program together for our franchisees all over the country that we helped them implement, so that they were constantly in the news and in front of everybody. And, obviously that can carry over into any industry to keep those people in front of their audience in a positive light as well. So I did that, worked with the franchise development department to make sure that we were continuing to sell franchises in areas where we needed to expand. So I would do the marketing for that. I would go with the salespeople and participate in the actual presentation of, here's what we're doing, here's what we're looking for. So, some public speaking in there, and some just planning of events. So I always seemed to be planning events in anything that I did. We also had a convention, for our franchisees that at the beginning, we did it ourselves. We did every single bit of it ourselves. We didn't have an organization helping us do that. So, event planning was always part of it, even though it wasn't in the sports and entertainment world. Then went on, again, in the senior care industry, again, all of it has been marketing, communications related. So talking to social workers to get them to come to our facility and rehab there. So all of it very people related, communications, building relationships, keeping that company in a positive light, and, growing their business and their footprint in the market was what I was doing at each of the senior care companies I worked for.
And then how about when you got back into Romeo? Is it Romeo?
Yes. Yep. Romeo Entertainment Group. So I had been in touch with them the entire 14, 15 years that I was gone. They knew I wanted to come back. They knew that was where I wanted to be. They don't have too much turnover. So when they did, they called me, and I jumped at the opportunity to go back. So January of 2014, I went back. I really had the opportunity to do every position in that area, except for accounting. I'll tell you, I'm not a numbers person. That, you asked me what one of my weaknesses is, there it is. So I started out as part of the marketing team and an agent assistant. So I was helping our clients. So we were a promoter and a middle buyer. So our clients, venues, fairs, festivals, corporate events, uber rich people that want to call us and say, I want Luke Bryan to play at our wedding. We were the ones that were working with the agents to get those people secured to play at their event, work through the contracting process, and then help them market their show. So that was the first year and a half, 2 years I was on the marketing team, helping them promote their event and getting as many tickets sold as possible prior to day of show. Also worked on the company's social media and handled that for quite a while until we hired someone that did that full time. very versed in working on the contract negotiation part of it, and working through just negotiating the offers to the artist that, hey, we're going to pay you this, but we're not going to agree to this. That as I became an agent and got promoted to agent to actually do the buying myself, I had worked with all of these agents prior as an assistant, but it is a different animal when you get into the actual agent role and you're the one negotiating that price, and you're like, hey, we only paid them XYZ last time, and we know what they sell in tickets, and doing that negotiation. And you have to have some level of confidence to be able to do that. As we know, in the entertainment industry, it's not cut and dry. It can be a little cutthroat sometimes that way. So I gained a lot of confidence in that realm of the job, that they're just people too, and we're both just trying to negotiate the best deal that we can for the agent's working on the artist's behalf, I'm working on my client and the venue's behalf. And I feel like I really created a lot of good relationships with agents. We had a very trusting relationship, mutual respect for each other and how we work, and that I have a great understanding of the business. Also with REG, I did do a lot of, especially during the summer, fairs and festivals were our bread and butter. So I was on the road a lot, going to shows and actually being the producer of the show and be the day-to-day. So looking for opportunities to take things off our clients' plates. So if they're gonna, especially at a fair or festival, if they're hiring us to make sure the concert goes smoothly and the artist is happy and everybody's happy, they've got other things to do, right? So they're out there. Having me there was allowing them to take care of vendor issues with, whether it be their food vendors, or there's something going on in the 4-H barn, or, something with the Midway.
The pigs are loose.
Yes, exactly. And don't even say that, because it's happened. The things you would hear over the radio sometimes, it's like, oh my God, is this really happening? But you have to laugh about it because it really happens. So, that was one of my greatest joys, as part of my job, was being on site and producing those shows. And for me, why you would want to even be in this industry, it's about it's the same thing I feel as a fan of sports and music. When I go to a show or go to a game, the atmosphere that I feel and I enjoy, I want to create that same thing for the people that are coming to my shows. And I just got so much joy, sitting side stage, watching people just have an incredible time, and knowing that me and my client worked really hard to make this happen. And now it's finally come to fruition, and people are having a great time, and the client's happy and the artist is happy, and it just ends up being a great night. So, I really have done every piece of that in the promoter world. And I think it's all about the experience for the fan. And I get great joy out of watching that.
What would you say is your biggest skill or asset that you would bring to a new position?
I am very detail oriented. I tend to, and I guess I'm going to kind of roll in my weakness here as well. I'm very detail oriented, able to kind of keep, as I had an assistant, and as we both work together and keep track of 30 clients, I'm able to juggle all of those pieces, able to do it efficiently, make sure that all pieces of an event are taken care of. So that means when I'm on site, I'm producing a show, but that doesn't mean that I'm not looking around the venue saying, we've got a security issue over here, there's no fence. I'm not beyond going and grabbing a piece of bike rack myself and just fixing the problem. I don't wait for people to do it for me, or I am one that will do, I won't ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do. And in these type of large events, there's things people don't think about. Are there enough trash cans for 8,000 people to be in this space right now? And you don't want to be picking this up later, so let's get some trash cans out here. I have come home with bruises all over my legs because I'm whipping around bike rack and those kind of things. So very detail oriented. I'm very much a people person. So I can walk onto, a fairgrounds or a venue, and, we all know that we're all people, right? And so people have bad days. We're not working with or the intangible. So one of the things I always pride myself in is that sometimes there's conflict, or sometimes, there's things that aren't going the way they probably should with production, or, somebody's not happy with the catering. You have to be able to have that balance of, I'm going to take care of this for you, but also let's have a mutual respect for each other and not, not make this more difficult than it has to be, which can sometimes happen, backstage. And I think that my personality and being able to keep people level-headed in those circumstances definitely helps. And working with the same artist over and over with the amount of clients that we had, I got a lot of feedback from tour managers and production managers that, this ran really smoothly. I love working with you guys. I know when I come to a Romeo show and you're here that things are going to go well, and they don't walk into it worrying, what are we walking into? They know Jamie's going to take care of us.
Are you open to relocation for a new position?
I have to tell you, that is one of the things that may hold me back a little. I unfortunately, I have 2 children and cannot relocate.
Okay.
So I would need it to be something here, or a remote
even.
opportunity.
Yeah. You already told us your weakness on the accounting, right? Financial.
Yes, financial. And I will say too that I can be a little, I guess I'll say I can be a little impatient waiting for people. As we all know, to try to put on these incredibly huge events, it takes a village, and it takes a lot more people behind the scenes than people realize and understand. And, if someone else has a job that I see is not being done, and, I kindly remind them a few times, if it's not getting done, I tend to just go do it myself. Now, to me, I'm like, that's a positive. I'm taking initiative. I go and I'm going to do what it takes to get it done and make sure that this event is ready. Now, can it be taken as a negative because that person really needs to take responsibility and do the job, and I don't want to step on toes, but if I've given that person ample time and I see that, hey, we're running out of time, then I will step in and do it. And sometimes, depending on the person, that can be taken the wrong way. I never mean it to be that way. It's just me seeing a need and, hey, we got to get this done. And my name's on this event and I want it to go well. So, I really take pride in what I do. So if I don't care what it is, if I see something that needs to be done, nothing is, like I said, I would never ask somebody to do something that I would not do, and nothing is beneath me. So if I got to bring some trash cans in, throw around some bike rack, whatever I have to do, that is what I will do to be ready to open the doors at the right time.
How about, how would you define success?
That is a great question. And I think, personally and professionally, it could be a little different, but to me, the fact that the last 6.5 years, I have been able to walk into my quote job that I didn't feel was a job. It truly was and is my passion. Music and sports have been my passion since I was very, very young. Getting to do what I love every day, to me is success. It's not always about the money. You know, money's great. You got to pay your bills, but doing what you love every day is definitely, you know, the pinnacle of success. But also, I mentioned earlier, you know, the events running smoothly, my name being on there and knowing that, okay, when everybody left, they said, we would love to come back here. That is, I want the people behind the scenes to want to come back and say, and go tell other people. And, you know, the industry, as big as it is, it's really small too.
Yeah.
Artists talk, tour managers talk, and to say, you know, a year down the road, when I put an offer in on another artist that's going to play at that same venue, and I get the feedback that they say, you know, so-and-so told me this is a great venue, you run the show well, that's success to me. If people behind the scenes have a good experience and the people out in the crowd are having an experience that they will never forget, and it's a memory for them, that's, to me, that is success. In professionally. Personally, I have 2 children. Only one of them's an athlete. But for me personally, I want my children to be successful members of society. I want them to be kind and caring and just be productive members of society. And I hope I'm doing a good job so far. They've done well. And, you know, I'm super proud of that. And I think just in this day and age, that's something that we need to focus more on is raising good people.
Definitely agree with that. How about, this is my last question, and it's the one I always like to finish with, is a fun personal fact about you.
Okay, well, and some people laugh about this. Kind of 2 things rolled into one. When I was young, I literally would get up. I idolized Robin Roberts. So if she was on ESPN, I wanted to watch her. I wanted to be her. I wanted to be a sportscaster. And in college, I found out real quick that that is why I'm behind the scenes. I got in front of the camera one time and I was like, that is it. Nope. As much as I love sports and know a lot about it, I don't want to be in front of the camera. So, but when I was young, I wrote to her and I'm like, I love what you do. You're trailblazing for other women that want to do this. How do I get into this? And I still have the handwritten letter that she wrote me back.
Awesome.
Encouraging me and things like that. And unfortunately, it was just that in college, I got in front of the camera and that was a big no-go for me. So that's when I retreat into the background and still make events happen and be part of that. But that was kind of a fun thing for me. The other one that people usually don't believe is that I grew up watching WWF/WWE wrestling. So I am a huge wrestling fan. Everybody that knows me from a long time ago understands it and knows it, but I wanted to be Miss Elizabeth growing up as well. I want to be somebody's manager and walk Macho Man Randy Savage down to the ring. And people just thought it was nuts. They're like, you are the only girl that is watching this, and this is insane. But you know, it is sports entertainment. There's the entertainment value of it. My dad would take us when we were young, and that was like a big, huge family gatherings to watch WrestleMania. They would come here to Omaha all the time. And it kind of came full circle last year. And of course, you know, being in the industry, you have some connections, and I called in a favor, and we got a few rows back for a televised show. And I took my son on a date night, and we got on TV and everything. And then my daughter, who is not the athlete, who is not interested, was so upset that we got on TV. Should have gone with us. So last year, then called in a favor from someone, and we got right at ringside, first row. And it was not a televised event. It was a house show. But having my dad there with me and taking my children, it was kind of like this full circle moment that, oh my God, my dad and I and my children are at this event, and my kids just thought it was hysterical that we're going to start this chant, you know, against one of the wrestlers. And one of them did kind of, you know, turn around and looked right at my son and was like, really, boy? And then he started this chant that the entire the entire stadium was doing, and that was super fun for me, and just one of those full circle, like, this is awesome.
Memories. I mean, that's what it's all about in our business, is creating memories for people, and
Exactly.
it's all over. So that's great. That's great to hear. That's a good one. I used to be big into wrestling in the late 90s. My wife and I would go to all the pay-per-views. Like, legitimately, like, just I've got like chairs, souvenir chairs from those days, but
oh my gosh,
not into it as much now. But back then it was fun. It's fun traveling around.
And truly, you know, I only watch it here and there now, but if they come, I, you know, take my son on a date night and take my daughter if she wants to go. And, you know, it's about creating the memories and having fun. And, you know, we're all wearing our crazy overpriced merch and just having a great time. And that truly is what it's all about, is creating the memories for people, whether you're at wrestling or a hockey game, or, you know, that's truly what it's about. And those are etched in your memory forever. And to know that you're part of that, and you've made part of that happen in the background, that's what it's all about for me.
Well, Jamie, I appreciate you joining me. It was fun to get to hear about your background and learn more about you. So hopefully we can help get you back working somewhere quickly.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. You're super kind to do this for all of us. And, you know, the industry's been hit hard, and it's nice to be able to have this platform. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.